Life-changing sorrow. The shame was a familiar coat, heavy and worn. I'd put it on again after failing, again, in the same old way. This time, it felt different. This wasn't the sharp sting of getting caught or the flimsy regret of a spoiled pleasure. This was a hollow, leaden weight in my chest. It was despair. It was the hopeless certainty that I was just a man who would keep failing, and the best I could do was learn to live with the weight of it. I sat in the quiet of the morning, the failure playing on a loop in my mind. But the usual script, the self-loathing, the promises to try harder, the mental bargaining, wouldn't start. Instead, a single clear thought pierced the numbness. This sorrow is killing you. And then another, quieter, but with more authority. Unless I give you a better one. It was an offer. A grace. And in that moment, bankrupt of my own solutions, I received it. I simply said, yes. It was as if a lens had been wiped clean. The same sin was before me, but I was no longer just sorry for the consequences or the guilt. I was sorry for it, for what it was. I saw it for the first time not as a mistake that complicated my life, but as a rebellion that broke his heart. This was a godly manner. This sorrow wasn't about me and my feelings. It was about God and His holiness. This new grief was a surgeon's knife, not a torturer's blade. It was precise, cutting away the infection of excuses to leave raw, healthy tissue. And where that knife cut, a strange energy began to flow. The pain transformed. It didn't paralyze. It produced. It produced a carefulness, a holy attention to my thoughts, a vigilance at the first hint of temptation. It produced indignation, a righteous anger at the sin itself, not just at myself for committing it. It produced a zeal, a fierce, active desire to root it out, to burn the bridges that led back to it. This was the proof I'd never had. My repentance had always been a wish to feel better. Now it was a war to be better. The sorrow was the catalyst, the divine discontent that refused to let me settle. It was leading me somewhere. It was leading me away from the hollow cycle of regret and toward a salvation that was actively working itself out in my choices. I stood up from my chair. The weight was gone. In its place was a resolve, a purpose. The grace of that life-changing sorrow had not given me peace, but it had given me a mission, the perfecting of holiness in the fear of God. And for the first time, it felt like a fight I could win.